Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cellular Healing TV. I'm your host, Meredith Dykstra, and this is episode number 195. We have our resident cellular healing specialist, Dr. Dan Pompa, on the line, and today we welcome special guest, Githa Ben-David, all the way from Denmark. So we finally got it together to have the show recording at the right time. So we're so excited to have you here, Gita, and we have a really interesting topic for all of you we've never discussed on Cellular Healing TV, and we're going to talk about the benefits of sound healing and sound therapy and how sounds affect us at the cellular level and how we can use sound to our benefit to help improve our health. So very interesting discussion. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit more about Gita. Githa Ben-David is a singer, author, composer, and vocal therapist, and was educated at the Royal Conservatory of Music in Copenhagen. She studied classical Khyal singing with Mangala Tiwari in Varanasi and spent time in Israel learning mystical therapy. She's also a regression therapist. Gita is the founder of vocal therapy, The Note from Heaven, which combines true vocal expression, healing, and regression. She's the leader of International Certified Education in The Note from Heaven and the founder of Galali Institute of Energy and Consciousness and Galali Publishing with her husband, author Lars Muhl. You can learn more about it at galali.com and the film page, cosmosporta.com. And you can learn all about Githa's work at thenotefromheaven.com. So welcome to Cellular Healing TV, Gita. So excited for this topic.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. And when I think of a note from heaven, the first thing that pops into my mind is David playing for King Saul, who was obviously in an irritated state, even spiritually not right. Matter of fact, threw the javelin at him and tried to kill him through the wall. And David would start playing and he would bring Saul down. And Saul would feel normal for days, right? So he kept requesting David to come back in and play for him because it was the only time he actually felt normal, right? So no doubt a note from heaven. And I know that, musicians and people that know music, they said that David played in a certain harmony, certain frequency, that we can duplicate today. So I have to say this too, is I had an interesting dinner the other night and I sat next to a young man who he is he's schooling himself in physics, etc. And his interest was how sound waves can affect the cell and affect our health and affect our body. So him and I got into this conversation. I told him I was interviewing you and even someone else on this topic because it was an interest of mine. And I said, make sure you watch the show. I want your feedback. But, because I get the science. I get the fact it's called resonant frequency. We can match frequencies. Even the wind, y'all can Google this. I mean, the wind hit a certain frequency and vibrated a bridge, the wires that come down that hold the bridge. It vibrated them at a certain frequency and the bridge went like this and literally just imploded. So that was resonant frequency. Frequency matched. The wind frequency vibrated these at the same frequency as the bridge and created this amazing force that disrupted. Now, today we understand that science and we don't build buildings and bridges that potentially these frequencies could affect. So the point is the science is there. I want you to start with your story because as a musician, you understand frequency better than most. But how did you end up applying this into the human body, in the physiology of a human? And tell us that because I think it's remarkable.
Yeah, I was actually a saxophone player and was the first one that entered the classical conservatorium with that. And I always loved to stand, I learned it quite late in my life. And that's why, because I could borrow a saxophone. And then I got into that place by competing me inside. And I was very proud of that. And that one of the reasons why I could do it, I think, is because I love to make a nice sound. It's always been in my mind like this. So I was standing towards the wall, playing long sounds. And in this way, actually, I also got good technically. So this is the key for many things, to do things with a nice sound. Because if you're very busy and all this, if you do it with a not nice sound, it doesn't matter when you play. Anyway, in the middle of all this studying, I felt like getting away and out in the nature and things like this. It was like very concentrated for 2 years. I just practiced and practiced, and like, who am I? What am I doing it for? And all this success, I got very high degrees, but what should I use it for? Did I ever, make a choice with this? So our girlfriend was going to travel, and she wanted to go to India. I had no interest in India at all, but I thought, okay, just to get away, I will ask for some money, and I probably will not get it. I was a poor student. I was like 24, and then I made just like a very fast one, and then I got a very high degree in the examination. I didn't think about that, but then I got a lot of money. And then I had to go to India with this girlfriend. And in the end, the girlfriend got pregnant, and I had to go alone then without any reason. So I promised the conservatorium that I will study Indian singing and come back and tell them about it for this money. What was that, 2 months? And it was really, that changed my life. That's why I tell you this. And what changed my life is that Mangala Tiwari, I'm sorry she's dead now, but she was a beautiful, beautiful singer. And it was just somebody told me, a sitar player, go to her. Okay, I go to her. And I studied the singing. She told me, you go home and sing one note for at least 1 hour a day. Only your ground note. And the ground note is a quite deep note. For most women, it's what you call an A. It's also what you make in the piano, what you originally called the ground note is an A. So I sang on an A. Men's ground note can be in other places because you have longer vocal cords. It varies more. But anyway, I sang this ground note, and I thought I felt very, very stupid. I come from the conservatorium, and I have to play fast, and tick-tock, tick-tock, And then I had to sing one note, and she just wanted it. And then I said, boring, I said, I'll do it, because she sounded really nice, and I was not a singer. I just took the singing because it was the fastest way to grasp it.
Right.
I sat there, and then after 10 minutes, what happened is that I felt like, I thought somebody else was singing, literally, because it could not be me making this sound. It was like more sounds at one time. And I ran to the window to see, but nobody, it was kids there.
Wow.
I thought there were kids, but there were no one making fun of me or something. And then I realized in the end it was my voice doing this. And this experience was like, it's like I got my power. I got in contact with who I was. Like from the depths of my stomach, I could feel myself, and I could feel it all vibrating. And I just couldn't stop. I could just sit now for hours singing like that. And this has followed me ever since. So of course I also did some technical stuff, but this was the thing.
Yeah. So, you had, you said how it helped Lyme disease, right? Your Lyme disease. So kind of tell that how that evolves. Okay. So you learned to make this sound, but at this point you didn't understand the implications.
No,
cell detox or even.
No, I didn't know nothing about it. Not even about spirituality. I'm grown up in an atheist family, but I've always believed in God myself, prayed and all this, but I really felt that I got in contact with something that just opened up. Long story, but after many years doing like this, I didn't feel like playing the saxophone. I just wanted to sing that one note, and people thought I'm crazy, why to do this? But I started teaching people, and I saw that other people, anybody can get contact with the note that like make their body sing. And when this is happening, then slowly it developed like this, because I would never call myself a healer. It was very hard for me to move from being a musician to a healer. But slowly things happened, like a deaf person got the hearing back. So I thought, this cannot be me, But it was when I found the resonance in her body with my voice. It seemed like you can find the resonance in the body. I found out.
So basically, to bring the science to it, you somehow found the same resonance.
Yes.
And when you do that, just like the bridge,
yes.
putting a physiological force into that area, and it healed. I mean, it's like a chiropractic adjustment. I mean, that's how chiropractic started. So a gentleman was adjusted, put a force in, whether it be sound or whether it be from the hand, and he got his hearing back, oddly enough. That was how chiropractic,
I didn't know.
chiropractic started, yes.
Really? What was his name again?
Yes, it was Harvey Lillard who actually got his hearing back, and it was Dr. Palmer, Dr. Daniel David Palmer, who actually delivered the adjustment, the first adjustment that got Harvey Lillard's hearing back, and then chiropractic was born. So what you're saying is, you know, here you are hitting these certain frequencies. It matched her frequency unknowingly. It sounds like it just happened, and then she got her hearing back.
Yeah, and I was scared of it because another thing was I started then to sing on people and try to find the resonance, and then deep notes start to come out of my mouth. Like it started like I couldn't handle the notes. Things started to come out of my mouth like it's not that, you know, the sound, you know, I just thought I'm not a good singer, you know. But then the one that received it told me, please continue, it feels really good. And this is the note that I showed you, like, oh, I can't, it's the undertone, ooh, like, it, you know, sometimes they say very strange, like the cat's purring eventually also can be. And this, when I did that I was in an education for regression therapy. Because when I started singing like this, when I lay down, sometimes I saw a kind of, you know, I get like movies. And I never got that before. So I got my feelings, somehow I get emotional about it. So I understood that it has something to do with my unconsciousness. So that's why I took this education, because if some of my pupils will get into that, I needed to know what to do with it. So in this regression therapist education, I was going to make the final examination with a woman that I didn't have really good contact with. We had to have somebody we never did it with, and probably we were very different. So she couldn't get into the regression. So I asked her, you know, you have to ask some kind of them. So she said, ask if I should give you sound, I asked her. Because I never used it before, but I had to make it work. So she said, yes, you should, but I will hate it. So I thought I'm not going to make it too loud, because the teacher was not there then. You know, I would just see if I could get her into it. So I made the undertones, because not so loud, not to disturb anybody. And then I lost contact with her. She was out. She was gone.
Wow.
And that was another thing, you know. I got scared. I mean, I took her pulse, was there. Nobody was dead, but I got scared. And after 10 minutes or something, she came back only. The teacher came in, I asked her all kind of questions. She didn't answer, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got scared of it. So I contacted Dr. Now he's a professor, Audun Myskja from Norway, because I knew he worked with music, and I needed to know that this was not dangerous, you know. So he told me, ask her if she had some experience by being in full narcosis, you know, if she had some kind of trauma from that. And I phoned her and asked her, yes, she had when she was 12 years. She had been waking up in a full narcosis and actually then when I asked more, so she said that she had had a lot of allergies since that. And now after we did this session, she had only one allergy left from the 5. But you see, I don't feel it's me doing it. It just happened, you know? That scared me in the beginning, you know, it was really
God birthed something through you, right? Like chiropractic was birthed. I mean, it's amazing, you know, and it's funny, you know, you mentioned Lyme, you know, there's something, you're probably familiar with it. It's called a Rife machine, and Rife machines put out certain frequencies. That they match the frequency of the bacteria, the spirochete. And it literally kills the spirochetes. You know, it's a very powerful treatment. I mean, I have, you know, people that can't, you know, they can barely even do much of it because it kills so many of these nasty bacteria that they herx, right? So it gives them a certain reaction. I mean, there's no difference whether it's you producing the sound or a Rife machine. It's a frequency. It's matching a frequency of a bacteria and literally demolishing the bacteria. So yeah, this is, you know, there's science around this. So, all right. So then, you know, I mean,
Lyme disease, should I just tell about the Lyme disease?
yeah, yes. Tell that story.
But, you know, I started working with this and it opened more and more up, and I just had to go with this. I mean, I shouldn't be a musician. I could feel this. I have to go with it because, and then I was married and lived in Israel for 4 years, and with a man I loved very dearly, and I had 2 sons with him, and then we divorced, and that was a big shock, you know, that this had to happen for me. I would think that was the last thing in my life, and I believed when the doctor told me I started to have pain in my arms, you know, from this 7 very bad years we had, you know, but when we moved back to Denmark, and I started to feel, sometimes I couldn't move my arm all of a sudden. And I thought, okay, I better do something about this, you know. We have to divorce, you know, because my body starts now, you know, being painful.
Right.
And then I got pain all kind of places, moving around, then the other arm, then the leg. And the doctors told me, oh, it can be psychological. And I believed them. And it was also, of course. But it just continued, started burning in my feet. Also, when we finished the divorce, and I thought it was the teeth, you know, I thought I had silver in my teeth. I thought it was his fillings, but the dentist told me, oh, it cannot be. It's not dangerous what you put in here.
Well, that's wrong, however.
Yeah, and I believed him, you know, so stupid. So it was also cheaper not to take it out, you know. And but after 7 years, that was enough, because I was happy now. There was no psychological problems, and I am with my new husband, and everything is nice. So I thought, now we better do something about it. And I asked the doctors that I would like to have a test for chronic. I was through the same thing like you. They took a blood test, nothing, but I wanted this chronic toxification to have a test. And she just said, yes, but she never sent me to the hospital.
Right.
3rd time I told her, after waiting half a year every time, I said, why don't you send me to the hospital? You tell me yes, but you don't. And then I could feel she thought I was crazy because I asked to be detoxed, you know. And I thought, I've always believed in the hospital, you know. I thought they want to do the best for you, so why can't you get a test? And then it was killed my faith for the hospital. Mm-hmm. So I found out that you can't have a test in Denmark for this. No. And the doctors that are doing it, they're trying to close them down. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's true.
So in the end, I did a test by myself while they started to investigate me in the hospital. I got a new doctor, and they sent me all over. They never saw feet like that before. It was very interesting for them, with a nice blood test and nothing wrong. But when I told again, he asked me, the doctor, and that was a specialist over all specialists. He told me, what do you think it is yourself? I said, do you really want to hear it? So she said, yes. I said, I think it's a poisoning, you know, from heavy mercury or something, you know.
Something.
So he told his helper, the doctor, he had some student beside him. He said, can you give me the diagnosis? They didn't see my feet yet. So he didn't know what to say, the student. And I was saying, oh, yes, diagnosis. I thought, if it would, you told also this, I mean, even if it was cancer, I would be happy, you know, because I just I didn't care. I would take any medicine, you know. It's so painful. So he said, you are paranoid and you just want attention. So
it's all in your head.
So I already see him sending me to a psychiatrist.
Yeah. That would happen to me too. They thought I was just nuts too. You know, after every test is normal, you know, it must be all in your head. It was in my head, all right. It was all the mercury in my head.
Yes, but then I just was calm and told him, please look at my feet, and they thought it was quite interesting how it looked. So I got all that investigation, and then I contacted a friend of mine that was a veterinarian, who had the Parkinson and got free of Parkinson from detoxing, because she can do all the chemistry, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So she made a plan, detox plan for me, and she told me about the DMSA, and I got it. They won't sell it in Denmark. We can't get in contact with it, but I found an address where I could get it, you know, and she told me, don't tell anybody about it.
When used correctly, it's a true chelator. It's a true binder, and you know, it's huge. You know, when used right, works.
Yeah, DMSA, yeah. She told me a list with the minerals and all this stuff, you know, to take it, that it won't take out my minerals. So that's the danger, I think, isn't it, with the minerals?
Yeah, and using it correctly in cycles, you know, people have to be taught to use that right. But okay, so then.
So what happened is that I started ordering all this DMSA and all this because, but before doing this, and when I believed the doctors that it was psychological, I tried, of course, to heal myself with the sound, because my experience is that sound can do anything.
Yeah.
But it spread when I did it. It was spreading from one leg to the other overnight. After I was trying, I just imagined it's going out through the feet, what I had, and it was spreading. So I got really scared out of that, because usually sound is not doing. Now I told you this, that somebody was losing I couldn't get in contact. It only happened once, you know. Usually there's no problem with the sound, but this scared me that it got worse, and I thought, this I need to know about, because it should never happen to a client, this, you know, because so that's why I got really interested in how to detox.
Yeah.
And when the DMSA, as you told also in your articles about the true chelator, how important it is. So I thought, of course you have something to grab it, because the sound seemed to be able to open it.
That's right.
But if nobody's grabbing it, it can't get out, and it will spread, and that will be dangerous.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you know, we use those binders when we get the cell moving. Yeah. We can raise glutathione or methylation and fix the cell membrane. The cell will start removing toxins. Sound would do the same thing, right? The cell starts removing toxins, but if you don't have a binder outside the cell to grab it, it can redistribute.
Yes,
because the sound will move the cell, but the sound won't grab the toxin, right? Just like glutathione does a good job of moving it out of the cell, but not a good job of moving it out of the body. So I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
Same thing with the oxygen. I don't know anything, you know, no science in this, but I feel that what's happening, and also from the pupils, what I see and the students, is that when we sing a long time, the breath is getting really long, the exhalation really long, when you get into what I call the note from heaven. And that means also that there's some kind of detox happening.
Yeah.
So that is giving also a lot of oxygen to the cells, because it's really breath, and you can feel that it's all starting like tickling inside the body, like, you know, some kind of thing going on. You're getting hot. The lymph will probably start moving faster and all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You can move lymph with sound, even light waves. You can move lymph, you know, and we did a show on Juve, which is red frequencies, you know, infrared and red, around 660, 880, you know, different, or 850, different frequencies of light penetrate our cells. And now we know the science. It actually raises ATP, which can actually start detoxing the cell. And again, people can actually have a detox reaction with light waves. Now we're talking sine waves. So this is the real deal. So behind you, I think people can understand sound like the tuning forks you have behind you.
I have it here.
In school, we used to hit them. They vibrate at a specific frequency. We could put them on people's bodies and identify broken ribs, etc., because it would send you through the roof when it hit the same frequency. So
you do that?
We used to use that in clinic, but you know, explain that. And also, I want you have the brain behind you.
I was drawing it in order, because I only started now to learn the anatomy, because I really need. That's what I found, that that's what I come to, this inner sound. I found an inner sound, because people have to be able to heal themselves also with this sound, and that I'll tell you about in one moment. And then I found out that in order to contact the things inside you, you need to know where they are, you know. you can't vibrate something you can imagine the pineal gland, but you know, it's good to know where it is. So I'm drawing it in order to study it.
Oh, wow. Do that? Okay, you see, you're an artist too. Yeah. See that?
Oh yeah, I draw this. I made it a bird, then I can remember where it is.
Yeah.
Okay, but I will show you. This is tuning fork, like from physics, and this is 440. So you see now I have another one. I closed this one, and it's still ringing the other one.
Oh, right.
I'll just see if I can hook. I can't. I'll put it down. I'll just do here. Okay, I close this one.
Right.
And you can hear this. I don't know where's the speaker. Can you hear it? Not so loud, but it is.
Yeah.
So it's ringing too. So that means, and the same thing you can do, you can sing the note without hitting it. It will do it.
Right.
We know that from the wind also, that will do this. And even I sing this one starts to sing with it, because it's my tune, you know. But if I sing another one, woo, it's singing no, it's not doing the same. So so that's actually what's happening, and what you also talked about, that each cell has its specific frequency.
Right. And
if you hit that frequency, the cell get actually kind of happy, you know, because you hear me, you know me, you know. You sing my song. And I think then it's like resonance. It's amazing, you know, because when you sing on a body, like I call it a scanning, you can simply feel when you hit the right note.
Yeah, amazing. So I want to you know, I want to show people. I want to give them an example. And I said, oh yeah, I have this neck thing. You know, I injured my neck, you know, and a chronic neck issue. And you said, okay, yeah, just let me see it. And then you hit, you know, we'll hit the frequency. So let's show them what that would look like. And why do you have to see it? Why do you have to see it?
It's because I'm still like, you know, first I was a musician, then I slowly, and it took me years, you know, you have to heal with this just to say the word, you know, that I was this. It was a big thing. So again, I need to, I think I can do it without looking at it, but I do it like it's in practice, you know, like you were here. I need to, for my own sake. So I ask for love and light for you. Now I'll find it again, and I will move my head, and then you will feel the sound changing. Now just try the undertones if that's what you need. There was a trauma there. So now we should have fixed something because the trauma sound disappeared.
Yeah, I tell you, the first time you did it, I mean, this, I could actually, I could feel, actually what I noticed was even like my visual, actually. So something was jumping and even in my vision. So, you know, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like when, when I turn, I can kind of feel its stiffness, right?
But I don't know if it can do it so fast. But why I did the undertones is because I found out that the undertones is more like the skeleton, all the subconscious part of us, the autonomic nervous system. It seems like we have a reptile inside us that like this sound, like oh, and people find very strange when you do it first time, but I found that it worked really good. Even it has nothing to do with music, like the cat's purring.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
And
yeah, so you can take somebody and you can look at them and then you find these frequencies that match to what they have going on. So how do people how do people find this? How do people utilize this?
The thing is that I made this international education, what I call the note from heaven, in vocal sound healing, or what sound scanning, maybe more the right thing to say. And when we do this, I look for good, the ones that get good results. I cannot know, I'm not the one to judge who is good or not good in this, because everybody can have the note from heaven. We all have access to it. It's coming with a full breath. So we practice always this to get the full breath, and then some people are just born to do it, you can feel they're really good in it, and they get results. And so I've actually been scared to get, not scared, but I didn't want to get too much out with this, because I had more than enough work here, and I don't take too many clients, because I was in the television and something, a tinnitus disappeared in television, and I was overwhelmed with hundreds of people, and I just closed down. I could not take that. I'm not, I'm more like an inventor or trying to open up this thing. So I pass on clients to my pupils. If they have good result with knees, I tell, she had good result with knees, or this one had good result with the tinnitus,
Give your website again that people can find, the therapy if they want to try it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm afraid of too many.
Okay, yeah, we don't have to. You send people where you want to send them. I don't want to overwhelm you. I know.
So it's www.gita, Githaben. No, sorry, it's not. That's the Danish one. It's www.thenotefromheaven.com.
Okay, www.thenotefromheaven. THE.
Yeah, the note.
Okay, the note from heaven. Okay, all right.
Shall I just show you how you sing the note from heaven?
You don't want me singing anything. Meredith's going to do that one.
Shall I do that? Shall I sing the note from heaven for you?
Yes, I want to hear you sing a note from heaven.
Yeah, I just have the tongue right here. I'll just show you, because it's like this. You just take. You can continue,
That's incredible. I couldn't hit that note if you. Wow, you gave me forever.
But this is a forever feeling you get. You disappear into it, and that's why I want just to tell you that really something important for me in this is that by practicing this way of singing, this is not performing. You're not performing, because when you perform, then you're in the duality level. But when you just surrender, it's actually, for me, it's like surrendering to God, to surrender to the sound. Sound is also, a part of God's.
Listen, I was just in Israel, and one of the gentlemen there played the shofar. The shofar plays at certain frequencies. They had one that was like, oh, it was extremely emotional. My wife actually wept after the shofar was played. And, so God used, he explained that one was celebratory, There was certain frequencies that were, that the Israelis used as the celebratory sound. There was a battle cry that revved up people for battle, and then there was one more for healing, right? So, and then he played some of those notes, and it was very similar, to what you just did there with your own voice. But the shofar, I tell you, it was powerful.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. I want to show you something because I just draw this. I don't know if you can see this. This symbol, my husband, a new husband, when I met him, he had this symbol he's been drawing, like with the hearts and the stars in the middle.
Yeah.
And oh, very nice, very nice symbol. But then I had something that I saw for myself in a dream somehow that was moving, and I couldn't draw it. In the end, I found out like this, it's going in one way. You can see it.
Like a heart.
It is a heart that is just, I had it also before I met my new husband. Like it's going all the way. You can just go around in it, Like it was like a three-dimensional thing that just move around. And I tried to draw it, just to see what is this. And I never understood what should I use it for. But then when I got this one with the star in the middle, I thought that this is two-part, you see?
Yeah.
Two-part.
Yeah.
The hearts also. And this one is one because you can just it's here. You can just move around in it, You understand? You can move like forever. You see?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And now I come to the point. I saw that these two things are the same all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The difference is the two M's. You see this? I think I made it here. It's an M and an M. I put it here. If you
hold it up a little higher.
What? Oh, sorry. If you put two M's in the middle, you will have this one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Show you. And the thing is,
by the way, that's the Star of David.
Yes, and now you see, now I put the two M's. You also have the Mary Magdalene, by the way, two M's, but you also have the sound. The sound is balancing, the two in the body. So it's all, it's so wonderful because it's all just fitting. You see?
Interesting.
Now we put it here, so it should be like this and like this. So you have it here. And this is the veil, you see? The veil that will open to the holiest place. You have to take off the veil in order to get into that open to the oneness level. So that's what I was into. And then I understood this. That means that when I study this and when I teach it to the pupils, you have to practice to be in the sound, to go into the oneness level. But you also need to know you can go back whenever you want. So we're practicing go in, out of this condition. And this condition you need to know to use when you heal another person, because you should not put your own things on people. You understand? Cool. Because if you're in the duality level, not good. You need to be in the oneness. So that's why the symbols can be used to remember it,
Interesting.
I made so many excited.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and it's amazing there. Like I said, the shofar, that was the Star of David, and the shofar, was very linked to that. Matter of fact, they blew the shofar over people for healing and all types of different things. So, Meredith, I know you have a lot of questions. This is a fascinating topic, honestly, and it's like the spiritual is here. It's like the science is here, the physical. My gosh, honestly, my brain is trying to figure out how, that we need the sound for the detox, right? You said that in an email to me. It's like, man, add one more thing, get that cell detoxing,
Well, I think maybe the cyto detox is the thing I need, because I need something that is not too dangerous for people, to use.
Yeah.
I tried the activated charcoal now. I don't know if it's...
Yeah, the charcoal, the bind product binds in the gut so you don't reabsorb. Cyto, it becomes a vehicle from the cell safely out of the body, right? So you're right. It's, along with what you're doing, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's because I don't know about the charcoal. If you just take charcoal pills, it won't go inside the cell, will it?
No, it doesn't really even leave it doesn't leave the gut. let alone the cell.
Oh, it's in the gut all the time.
Cyto leaves the gut and can penetrate the membranes. So cyto goes more into the cell. So, right.
I need
use G cell to raise intracellular glutathione, and then, you know, cyto is working in around it to bind to move it all the way out of the body, and then bind sits in the gut to make sure you don't reabsorb.
Do we have time that I can tell you about this, what I found out about Stephanie Seneff, or we have time?
Yeah, we love Stephanie Seneff. We've interviewed her.
I love her too. She's my hero. Yeah. Before I met you, you know, and then I saw you made an interview. I said, oh God, you have her.
So go ahead, share.
Okay.
I have 5 minutes, and I have another interview, but just kind of giving you a time zone there.
How do we do this fast? Can you see this? No, you can't see it.
It's too light. Back the light up. Back the light up. Like, yeah, that's better. Yep.
You can see this?
Yeah, you can see it perfectly. Yep.
Okay, so here I made it like a bird. You know, it's not a bird inside us, but I just made like a little bit that the pineal gland is in the back of the head of the bird. What it's looking like, and the hypothalamus is here, and the pituitary.
The hypothalamus and pituitary, correct. Yep.
So, and here's the reptile brain, and here is the thyroid and the thymus.
Yep, thymus for the immune system.
Yes. So what I did was when I read about Stephanie Seneff, I'll do it fast and say it, she talked about the pineal gland, because that's much more. That's the most poison part of our body, because it's straight in the bloodstream. It's not protected. It's standing.
It sits outside the blood-brain barrier, so it's more vulnerable to neurotoxins. Correct.
And she's talking about that. She's studying all this autism also, but she talked about that the pineal gland will make the melatonin and also the sulfate, heparan sulfate.
That's correct.
And that this actually is, I saw them like the cleaning people of our cells, you know, and they will come in the night and clean us when we sleep. But they can't do that if the pineal gland is too full of toxins. Then it will be unbalanced, and so all the body's natural cleaning will go down in the night.
Yeah, so, you know, in the pineal gland, obviously, is where you make melatonin. It affects your sleep.
Yes.
But you're right. It has this cholesterol sulfate, which helps our body detox, and even our hormones. The pineal gland plays a significant role, and the pineal gland is poisoned with mercury and other neurotoxins.
Yeah. So I got it. I thought, if I will concentrate on that and try to purify it with the sound, and then I thought, okay, I am in the menopause. You know, I'm a woman, and I thought, I was very surprised about how depressed you can get, and I think it's because of the toxins. Women, much more radical than my mother and things.
Right.
So my family should not suffer from that. So I started to experiment with it.
So I think it's important to us, for us in our detox, because the key is the brain, right? Let's some sound frequencies for the pituitary. I'm sorry, the pineal gland, the pituitary, and the hypothalamus, because that's where the neurotoxins are affecting the hormones, the sleep, the anxiety. So maybe just end with that, some frequencies for our pineal gland and hypothalamus.
That the hung sound, you don't sing all the hung, but the ha will open the soft palate inside and make the pressure up where is the pituitary actually inside the head. So I found when I started to experiment with that, then it started again, the undertones, and I just went with it. And I found that this sound, it's I just lay down and I make this but the NG sound, and then I can simply move it that it will start vibrating. It takes time, but then it starts to vibrate, you know. Wow. And then that's what is genuine about this, is that, you know, you talk about, you know, you can imagine things and then it will happen, but here you feel it's happening, because your thought is following, sound will follow your thought. And that you get really, I was like, yes, you know.
Listen, I'm a believer with this. I am. I mean, I get it. I mean, I get how sound affects the cells and specific cells like the pineal gland, the pituitary, targeting. I want to incorporate this into detox better. So what you need to do is record, if you haven't already, certain specific sounds that people can play for certain organs. Their pineal, the pituitary. Have you done that yet?
Not for the pituitary because it's something new, but I have done it for other things. You know, I've been doing.
How can we access those sounds? I want those sounds.
Yes, so I'll record them, but you better make them yourself too. But you know,
so what I need you to do is record these sounds around the cell membrane, the mitochondria, the pituitary, right? So we can play these cellular sounds, these specific cellular sounds, whether it's the pituitary. So we need that recorded, and then we can utilize that in detox. Because something here, Githa.
Yeah, but if you sing it yourself, you see, then you will have it inside. Because if you
hear it to be able to repeat it. If I hear it, I can mimic it. Like, you know, when you sing a song on the radio, after a while, you can get that tone better.
Which I will tell you and the listeners that if you do like this, you sing this, you have to hum, and then you put fingers in your ears, it will sound like you have a big machine inside. Try it.
Yeah, I hear it way loud.
Yeah, you did it correctly. Yes, very. So it's getting like you get it from inside. But
if like when I hear your sound, I can mimic it. So that's why you need to come out with the specific sounds that you've identified, frequencies for each cell, for each cell membrane, for the pituitary, and then we can mimic that frequency.
Yes, that's true. But I also want to tell you what I was very surprised about. My husband was very happy about it because I lay down and I did all the glands that are doing the hormones. And after 15 minutes, I was like balanced, you know. I felt great. So I'm doing it. I don't say that it will keep it there because toxins are coming all the time. Yeah. But I can just do it when I feel the unbalance, you know.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we appreciate your knowledge, and I love this topic. Honestly, I think it's the future where we need to do for cellular detox in addition to. So, Meredith, you're gonna make her do this. Meredith, you're gonna keep in touch and be like, okay, we want those sounds, we want those frequencies, we want this.
I want you to come to Denmark to teach the doctors how to do this.
Yeah, I have a lot of requests to do that there. So
because people don't know what to do when they have to detox.
Yeah, it's true.
And they can't get the site to detox.
No, we need to make that happen.
Yeah, because and I'm writing a book right now, and I will mention it, you know, because I want them to legalize it here.
We have so many scientists, biochemists working on certain aspects to make our whole cellular process even better. And so we are all about making this better, faster. I mean, this I think is part of it. So.
And it's great you only give it to the doctors because it really people have to be taken care of because
absolutely.
So
thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh gosh, such a fascinating topic. There's so much we could continue to talk about this, and we'll continue the discussion because this is an amazing tool to add to our cellular healing toolbox. So thank you so much, Dr. Pompa and Gita, for just sharing this information and for what you do. And we'll definitely be in touch on the organ-specific sound healing frequencies. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you want more of this, let us know. And otherwise, have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.